What's going on YouTube? I was inspired by Liv Loves Her Makeup. She has an amazing channel. She's almost the pure opposite of me. She speaks a million miles a minute. She gets a lot of information out in one sitting, and I just love her channel. So she's doing a palette collection, and she's doing it in parts, and I thought I would participate. So this first part is my Urban Decay, my Morphe, and my Lorac eyeshadow palettes. And part of the idea in this is that you kind of take a look at what you have in your collection and maybe even declutter. So I'm just going to show you what I have in my collection. Hey, don't forget to subscribe. Up first, we're going to start with Urban Decay. This is the original Naked palette. Now, this is not my first Naked palette. I ended up starting out with Naked 3 first, and then I think I ended up buying this one from someone. It's not well loved, but I just wouldn't part with it. It's just that classic. My whole thought process was I was going to depod and put all of my Urban Nakeds and Naked Basics in one location. So here's the Naked 1, the Naked 2. This one has seen, you know, more love for sure. The Naked 3 is my favorite out of the 3 for all of the rosy gold shades. But my favorite out of all of them is actually this palette. The setup that they did with this one, I wish that they had continued. I'm really not trying to show my face in this one. With the matte shades here, you've got shimmer shades, and then you've got the foils. And the mattes, these two especially, the mattes on the Naked Smoky palette are incredible. And I don't know why it didn't get as much love as some of the other ones. I don't know, I think people were kind of done with the whole urban naked whatever and then it to come out and be smoky. But this is one of my favorite all-time palettes, and I ended up getting it when they did like a flash 50% off sale, so you know, even better. Then you've got the well already loved Naked Heat palette. I do like this palette. The warm tones are delicious, and in my mind, I was going to depot all of them anyway, so it's like the most epic complete palette of all time. I feel like the shade in Fuego is a little bit problematic to blend, but other than that, I really like these palettes. So that's the Naked 1, 2, 3, and Smoky and Heat. Then we've got the OG original Naked Basics. This one is the original one. I find that this one is good for setting your lids, and then also brow colors. So I like this one. I do not regret having it. Then there's Naked Basics 2. This one's definitely good for brows because it's got, you know, that added coloring to it. And then the Naked Ultimate Basics. I absolutely love this palette, and again, my goal was to depot all of them and put them together while maintaining the pretty packaging. So love this palette, would definitely recommend if you love mattes. So then on to some of the other urban palettes that I have. This one was one of my first ones, and this is the Shadow Box, and I know that they redid this, so I'm kind of curious if the formula is different. These are all shimmery kind of shades. I have not bought some of the Vice palettes because the shades were, you know, redones in them. Let's see, what else do I have? I have the Basquiat collection. I have both eyeshadow palettes. I think the packaging is gorgeous on these. I have not played with them a lot. I did a look with this, just get ready at work kind of thing, and they were okay. I wanted them to feel like the Naked Smoky. I guess that's what I compare all the Urbans to now. and then also the Shiny Bright one. And haven't played with this one a whole lot. I love the brush. I have taken it out and added it to my brush jar because it's the same brush from the electric palette, which is incredible. One of my very first palettes ever is the electric palette. Love this one. I am hoping Urban Decay comes out with an electric too, because this palette is just the standard of color. Then I have the Vice, I think this might have been number 3. And I was on the kick. I had to have all the Vices once I discovered them. And I really liked this one. Out of the 3, I think this was my favorite of the Vice. Then there's this one. And I really enjoyed the matte shades in here. And actually, you can complete a lot of looks by just going in rows. I mean, it challenges you, but it can be done. So I do like this palette a lot. Then I have the Vice Limited Edition, and like this shade, it's super cool. It's like a really fun duochrome. It looks white in the pan. You can wet it, and it changes, and this one is a really fun palette. And again, I don't regret this one. I know a lot of people go back and forth with these kind of palettes, but I feel like they challenge you. And we have so many of these neutral Nellies that I miss seeing more brands do stuff like this. Then I had to go back in time and buy this one. This is the Urban Decay Full just Spectrum palette. And I actually got this one, I think, off of like one of the sites like Depop or Mercari from someone that, you know, didn't want it anymore. So I did not pay full price. I do like it. The shades are very urban, but I'm glad, again, I didn't pay full price for this one. I think my second Urban Decay palette I ever got was this Pulp Fiction, and you can see I really liked this one. This shade right here is like eyeshadow perfection. You know, all Urbans should feel like that. Love this palette. It's been in the bottom of the drawer though. And then I did jump on the Naked Smoky palette. This one, another one that when they had a flash sale and it was, you know, 50% off or something like that, I picked this one up then. And I have done a lot of the looks from the book that came with this. I felt it was very, very helpful to follow along because you could do like a purple look, you could do a blue smoky look, a green one, all incorporating different colors. This Freestyle shade is a really nice matte. Pretty much my skin tone, but nonetheless, this is a good palette. Then the Full Spectrum. I had this thing in my cart a zillion times, didn't get it. Finally got it during the Sephora VIB sale, and it was on sale. So I got it on sale plus 20% off, and at that price point, it was great. I like it. I just want Urban to make something like this with the electric palette formula. Wouldn't that be epic? And then my final Urban palette is the Alice Through the Looking Glass. And you guys know, like, this one I bought because of the packaging. It sits on my vanity. It was in the background of my videos. I have not used it very much, but it is done in ways like this that you could do full looks. Like, one's the Hatter look, one's the Queen look, and I like the format. I didn't find that these shadows were particularly amazing or bad. I just don't reach for it, but it is gorgeous, and again, it's like a collector's piece. I won't ever get rid of this one. I forgot to add in, I did also get Moondust, and I was excited about this because I love Moondust, and I actually was screaming on their Twitter that they needed to make a palette because these things are 20 bucks a piece, and having a palette, I love that they're all together. I hope that they do another one, like a part 2, because these are so fun, and I think people weren't using them correctly. Like, I always use them with like wet and then on top of other shadows. It's totally a companion piece, but beautiful nonetheless. And if you bought these individually, they're $20 each. So definitely a good thing for me. Next up in my collection are my Morphe palettes. I only have 3. I have all of the 350 in the original, the matte, and the shimmer. These are, you know, they're okay, but I have so many good palettes that I never reach for these. So I probably will end up decluttering. Maybe I'll keep the original and I'll declutter like this one because this is the matte, and I'll probably declutter the shimmer. I don't know who. I don't have a lot of makeup lovers in my life as far as friends go, but I will definitely have to find, you know, someone that would want these. I will have to find someone. See, they have that real slippery kind of formula if you're aware of like Juvia's Place. Let's see if I can find another spot. The foiled shades are very nice. My lighting's not picking up very well. Let's see if you can see on the fingers. So they're pretty, but they just sit in the back, and it took me to do something like this to see what's back there. And the original 350, I would probably just keep this one instead of having all the mattes and the shimmers, because it's really all you would need. But my goodness, there's so many warm tone palettes now that it's like every palette looks like this now. So I guess if you have this, you don't need the other ones, but the formulas, you know, okay. Next up are my Lorac palettes. I actually got the first Mega Pro on the day of the release, and I was late to work because I had to keep refreshing. A lot of people get on the Lorac formula for being really powdery, but they are just such beautiful colors, and the mattes blend so nicely that I think you just have to get over it. You just have to get over it. And it's one of the few formulas that you can really put a lot of colors in and just blend the heck out of them and still maintain the original colors, you know what I mean? I don't find that they get too muddy when you blend them together. And this is the Lorac Mega Pro 2. I believe this one is back on HSN. Love this tangerine color. I was so happy that they put that one in. So this is number 2. Then after I discovered that, of course I had to get the original Lorac Pro, and you can see, again, well loved. When I first started doing makeup on other people, these were the palettes that I took with me, the chocolate bars and the Lorac Pro 1 and Pro 2. And here is Lorac Pro 2. All of the cool tones. I mean, this shade, these various tones of the gray, so you're getting different undertones, they're just beautiful. Then I have the original Lorac Unzipped. This one I really like. It reminds me very much of the Lime Crime kind of colors for the Venus one. And then I had to jump on the bandwagon and get Unzipped Gold. And this one is harder to work with. Like this shade, I mean, they swatch really pretty, but you can see kind of chalky and harder to blend. So I don't understand. Just make the colors different, be the same formula of your others. Then for a while I was on the kick where I got all these little ones, and I've gifted these. I've decluttered them. They'd come out with 2 a year. One would be at Ulta and one would be at Kohl's. So these are definitely going in the declutter pile. I'm going to be sending this one. This one I believe was called The Heart, and this one was called Dream. I'm gonna send these ones to Miss Fucking Wonderful, because they're just in a box. They're not being used. And my last Lorac palette is the Pro Formula, and it is the brunch one, the pastels. I actually really like this one. I watched a lot of reviews before I bought it. You use a white base and you can have fun with it. It's not too bad. My whole point in showing these is, especially with the Loracs, I am really curious about their new unzipped palettes. The Mountain Sunset, Ocean Sunset, Desert Sunset, because I loved the unzipped. These two, well, especially this one. I mean, it was just incredible. And I'm so sad that they didn't go more so with this kind of the look. I like the matte on top and the shimmer on the bottom. That is so amazing that they do that. But they're more like this, where I believe there's only 4 mattes and the rest are shimmers. I don't know, I'm gonna have to watch some videos on them because they're not cheap. They are pricey. I think they're $40-something to have something that you don't love. So this is part 1 of my eyeshadow collection. It's my Lorac, Morphe, and my Urban Decay palettes. Up next, I'll probably do my Too Faced, maybe Juvia's Place, and I will save all of my indie shadows. I'll do my indies palettes, and then I'll do my indie singles, because those ones are the go-tos. They're my favorites by far. So here is my palette collection. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, send me a like, and then let me know if there's any of these palettes that you see that you want a look done with. Leave a comment. Let me know. You want to re-see swatches or something. Just keep me posted, and we'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye.